we got like a crazy amount of signups, like several thousand, and I didn't really expect that. And then the first week, sales started to come through, and I couldn't really believe it because I'd never charged that amount for something before. And I didn't really know whether people were going to go for it, and people started to go for it. And I was like, okay, there's really something here. Like, this is really working. Everything's been set up, like all of the work's been done, and it's just like clicking a button, switching it on, and it just runs in the background. And that was exactly what I wanted. Hi, my name is Charlie, and I'm a yoga teacher and YouTuber. And last year I had a YouTube channel that was quite successful, and I also had online programs that I was offering. Things were going really well for me on YouTube, but I didn't want to have all of my eggs in one basket, and I really wanted to focus on promoting my online programs as another source of income, and also because those programs are great, I believe, and I really wanted more people to benefit from them, but I just wasn't getting people to see them. And I'm not one of those people that likes to be overly salesy. I don't like to constantly be mentioning about this thing that I've got, because I know I don't personally like it when people do that, so I didn't want to do that to other people. So this is when I knew that I wanted to have some sort of system in place that generated leads, that got people to see these programs that I was offering in a non-overly salesy way, if you know what I mean. So around about this time, I was scrolling through Instagram, and I kept seeing Andy's face pop up, and I kept seeing like impact everywhere. And I saw that he was working with people who I really respect, people who are very successful and seem to have really sustainable businesses in the yoga world. So I was like, okay, let me talk to him. Let me see what him and the Impact team can do. And I was instantly impressed by how much knowledge Andy had, but most of all by how Andy got me to start thinking in a different way. I always remember the first conversation, or one of the first conversations I had with him, where he said, the way that you've been thinking and doing up until now has got you to where you are now. But where you want to be takes an entirely different way of thinking and doing. And I really needed to hear that, because I think in business and, as teachers, it doesn't matter what profession you're in, it's really easy to get stuck in your way of thinking and doing. And sometimes it's helpful to have someone come along and be like, well, actually, now it's time to take this next leap. And now you need to start doing things like this if you want to get to where you want to go. So that was the first conversation. I was like, wow, I've already taken so much from this, because I was being mentored by Andy, and alongside that, he was helping me build my marketing funnel. I had some experience building a marketing funnel before, but it had never really been that successful. And I kept seeing it all over the place. I think we hear buzzwords like marketing funnel all the time, and we assume, oh, we'll just set this up and it will work. But it hadn't always been successful for me until I followed Andy's method. And another big takeaway from the first few weeks of building this marketing funnel was that you don't need to feel bad about selling someone something if what you're selling them has so much value to give them. And I instantly felt better, because I think as yoga teachers, we don't like to be selling things. It feels like it goes against yogic ethics. But in this case, it really helped me feel less guilty about making money from teaching yoga, because I think that's something that we often struggle with. So in the first few weeks of building the marketing funnel, I always had that in the back of my mind from one of the workshops where we'd spoken about it. And within about 2 months of me starting working with Andy, I built the funnel, put it all together, and I launched the magnet, which helps to generate some interest to then send people through the funnel. So that was a really quick turnaround. There was so much help from the team, and there was so much explanation that it was really like laid out for you, that, it was very beginner friendly. So I really, really appreciated that, because I'm the type of person where I like to work on my own time, and I really liked that the layout allowed me to do that. Like, I wasn't really waiting for information, it was all there for me, and the team are super responsive as well, so they were really quick at getting back to me. But I wanted it to be like that because I really wanted to get results fast. So within launching the first magnet, we got like a crazy amount of signups, like several thousand, and I didn't really expect that because I'd never had a marketing funnel be successful for me. And then the first week, sales started to come through, and I couldn't really believe it because I'd never charged that amount for something before. And I didn't really know other people were going to go for it. And people started to go for it. And I was like, okay, there's really something here. Like, this is really working. And everything's been set up, like all of the work's been done, and it's just like clicking a button, switching it on, and it just runs in the background. And that was exactly what I wanted. Like, I didn't want something that I was going to need to continually give time to, because I don't have the time for that. I just needed something that I could set up, switch on and leave, and for it to run. And that was one of the things that I'm most grateful for, because it's now given me that process. And I think it's now a process that I can go and repeat. And I see other yoga teachers have repeated it over and over, and it's continued to be successful. So I think when you find something that works like that, you just repeat it. It's like anything. And that is one of the things that I think most yoga teachers can really benefit from, is having a system in place where they have an income stream that they know is reliable, because not many yoga teachers have that. And that is what I would say to anybody who's considering working with the Impact team, or who's considering investing in their business in this way. Think about what you stand to gain in the future, because it's worthwhile putting in the work now and then having a system in place that makes your income more reliable, more consistent, so that you have something in place, so you know, okay, a couple times a year I can create this offer and it will run and it will generate so much money. And it's just another tool that you can add to your toolkit, so that you don't have to feel so stressed out teaching all of the time, wondering how you're going to make it sustainable. Another thing I would say to anybody is the outcome will be that you end up with a marketing funnel or whatever it is that you choose to focus on. But another thing that you'll probably gain from it is a new perspective on your business. You're going to get so many more skills that you probably don't even realize that you need right now. You'll become so much more au fait with the digital marketing world, with creating automated emails, with building landing pages, with creating content and writing copy that converts. Like, these are all such valuable skills that not many yoga teachers realize that they need until they start exploring the online world. And then it's like, oh wow, there's so much to this. So that was one of the things that I really took away from it. Even though I had a lot of those skills to begin, there was still so much that I learned on top of that. So I really think it doesn't matter what level you're at, whether you're like a complete beginner, whether you're like a more advanced beginner, intermediate, marketer, there is definitely something to take away from the experience. So all I have to say is thank you so much to Andy and the Impact team.